Today guys, we're back with another video, and this is gonna be what if Naruto was a demon. Part 1. Jiraiya. He looked forward at the gigantic toad. Yes, Grand Sage, Jiraiya said, while looking towards the toad. I have utterly terrible and yet good news for you, he said while looking towards Jiraiya. Jiraiya looked up. What is it? It's a prophecy. Under the first crimson. Hold on, wait. Under the first crimson moon, a demon of a caliber unknown, of a caliber to the highest degree, shall be born. His name shall be known. He shall destroy all that's in his path, showing no mercy. Destroying all that is there, along with his along with the golden hero, or the demonetized, the demon hero, Crimson Eyes, coming back. Even with death, anger does not cease. Even in reincarnation, vengeance wants itself. Casting a shadow among all, he waits to murder. No, destroy those who did his father wrong. The Crimson Demon. The Toad Sage said before falling asleep. Then a gigantic toad hopped over, patting him on the back heavily. Boom, boom. Like basically like that, but bigger, louder, and faster. Hey, yo. What you doing over there, short day? Anyway, as he woke back up, yeah, the prophecy, the prophecy. Guided by his hatred for the golden hero, guided by his own hatred for the people that wronged him and his father. They both wait for the second moon to eliminate all that stand in their path. At Konoha, the moon turned crimson as a gigantic demon emerged from the ground. Emerged, like basically teleported. I don't know what the hell happened. As Jiraiya looked forth. Look, Minato looked forth towards the masked man. Human. Yeah, human. You'll die under my wrath. The masked man said, before disappearing at top speed. He was a descendant of the Great Devil Clan. Yes, I am going to say that Obito is not of the Uchiha clan. Well, he's partial Uchiha. Well, he's 87% Uchiha, leaving the last 13% up to his demon side, which made him almost automatically so OP that he could clap on almost anyone except Madara. So yeah. As Obito looked forward with a smile, his fist landed in Minato's gut as Minato was sent flying back. He threw his kunai towards him before turning around and forming the Rasengan. As he bomb rushed the Rasengan towards a tree, he appeared behind the masked man, getting ready to slam his Rasengan into him like a boss. But things did not go to as planned. As he passed through the man then grabbed onto the back of his leg, swinging him above head, slamming him down, before bringing down his leg to cause massive destruction. You stand no chance against me. I have the blood of the first god of this world flowing through my veins. Well, his clan, he said. After all, I am Madara Uchiha. As Minato's eyes opened widely, who is this god person? Who is this first god person? But he had no time to think about that. He had to beat the person in front of him. So he rushed forward at top speeds as he blitzed forward, getting ready to attack Obito. He phased directly through him as Obito grabbed onto the back of his neck. As he began to push out a poison, which he had stored in his body by using the Kamui on certain areas of his body, which is a side effect of him being a descendant of one of the greatest clans ever, an advanced Kamui. Obviously. Because how powerful I'm going to make Naruto, I have to beef up almost all of the characters within the story just to make them at least half of Naruto's strength. Alright. Minato looked forward towards his opponent as he bum rushed him, trying to get an adequate hit. After all, his poison was affecting him quickly, so he only knew of one technique that could possibly match him. Rasengan. Seiken, he yelled out. And in the air, he lifted up his hand As the Rasengan then formed, he seemingly threw it towards Obito. But it didn't lose any momentum or power, as Obito then smiled. He would just allow it to pass through him, and he'd calmly and get rid of the Hokage. So, he sat there waiting for it to hit him. As it hit, he was shocked as he was blown back by the pressure behind it. As Minato then smiled, I assumed that was the best option, since it seemed as if you were traveling in and out of dimensions. I decided to give you a taste of my power, he said, with a smirk on his face. This Rasengan is meant to travel into dimensions, hitting all its opponents. He said with a smile. It's basically like interdimensional cable. It connects to whatever it can find. Well, whatever is the closest. Which means you were the closest in your little dimension. So, boom. He said with a smile. Even though it was a prototype, it seems that it works quite fine. He said, looking at the blown off arm of the masked man. You think that you can even match me with such weak techniques? Since you are going into the grave, I suppose I can tell you, he said with a smirk on his face. I am a descendant of the almighty first god, the Demon King, the Devil King, the man who beat down the Sage of Six Paths by his lonesome. Plus, I have Hashirama cells within me. While Hashirama couldn't regenerate entire destroyed body parts, with my blood plus Hashirama's, it made it easy, he said with a smirk on his face, proudly. But Minato couldn't see that. Minato said before dashing forward. They battled out, with both of them hardly getting the upper hand. And I made this happen to better progress the storyline, to understand why Naruto will make some decisions, simply because the Nine Tails has more time to go around beating their cheeks down like they're doonies. Since he has more of that time, he's killing more shit. I made the best fucking sandwiches ever. Anyway, he dashed forward. As Minato was getting ready to land the final hit, Simra Sengen, he yelled out. As he smiled, he flew forward, rapidly, booming, as he punched Obito in the stomach. Well, as he tried to punch Obito in the stomach, since his technique was the one that passed the dimension, not him, it didn't work. As Minato then smiled, he brought back his Rasengan, plummeting it into Madara, sending him flying back. As he smiled, there was now a Raijin mark on him. He neatly concealed the Raijin mark, which was made out of chakra inside of the ball, so it causes less damage, but it's a lot more effective in terms of, trying to get to people. It's incredibly effective. In fact, it's so effective that it's just really OP. As then he teleported into the Kamui dimension, seeing boxes all around. He began to viciously battle with Obito, eventually pushing Obito to leave because of the fact he didn't have the time to battle with basically Minato. He didn't have the time. He had to do some things to better suit for the Akatsuki. After all, Nagito is still a little orphan who got trained by Jiraiya a bit. He's not too strong, but he's gonna serve his purpose. As he then disappeared from the Kamui dimension, Minato flashed back into the fray as he flew forward towards the Nine Tails. He had blood leaking down his face as it was battered and bruised. As he coughed up blood. That man really did a number on me, he said, while falling back, before he finally reached the Nine Tails and his wife. Yeah, before he finally reached the Nine Tails and his wife and son. Kushina saw that Minato was bleeding out, so chains flew out of her back. One touched Minato while the rest restrained the Nine Tails. I don't know if y'all noticed, but like in Shippuden, you recover chakra and basically like your body, you get better from Uzumaki blood. So I'm assuming that Kurin, since she hadn't trained a day in her life, there's actually like an Uzumaki skill maybe that allowed for this transaction to be less disgusting. Probably. Because why would you want to go bite your friends? Like, that's not what I want to do. I want to gain power. So, yeah. So, Minato got up victorious. I have no time. Soul barrier, he yelled out, as a barrier plummeted through the sky as it wrapped around the area, blocking the Ninetales from doing further damage. Plus, he was kind of restrained, so yeah. As Kushina's soul was leaving her body, since it required a lot more time, roughly 20, no, let's say an hour of more time to get Obito to leave. So I know what y'all saying. That's not cool. Like she would have died already.
Shut the fuck up. It's my what if, and I'm gonna what if my ass off. I'm gonna boost through plot armor, and I'm gonna plot the hell out of this story. By the way, this is not fanfic. So because after Anime King did that, I'm like, sir, you're kind of copying off of his ideas. What the fuck happened? Sir, you were kind of copying off his ideas. So does that mean that you're like copying off of those fanfics? So I'm like, yeah, pretty much. Since